Family and friends paid their last respects to former state auditor Tom Schweik earlier today. Schweik died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound last Thursday. Former state senator John Danforth gave Schweik's eulogy, saying nasty politics could be blamed for Schweik's death. ABC 17's Dan Messinio attended the funeral services in Clayton today, and Dan, hundreds showed up to remember Tom Schweik.
Dana, the funeral service was held at Church of St. Michael and St. George in Clayton. The entire church, including the overflow chapel, was filled with family and friends. Schweik's press secretary says the family was overwhelmed by the turnout. Family and friends remember former state auditor Tom Schweik today at an emotional and solemn service in Clayton.
Tom was the model for what a public servant should be.
Governor Jay Nixon, Senator Kurt Schaefer of Columbia, and many other state lawmakers attended the funeral service. Former state senator turned Reverend John Danforth eulogized Schweik.
He was exceptionally bright, energetic, well-organized. He was highly ethical.
Danforth recounted a conversation he had with Schweik just days before his suicide. He says Schweik was distressed about a radio campaign attack ad, poking fun at Schweik's appearance.
Is he a weak candidate for governor? Absolutely. Just look at him. He could be easily confused for the deputy sheriff of Mayberry. Once Schweik obtains the Republican nomination, we will quickly squash him like the little bug that he is.
Danforth also referred to a whisper campaign saying Schweik was Jewish. He said Schweik was extremely upset about the anti-Semitic tones behind the campaign. Danforth even says the nastiness of the gubernatorial campaign led to Schweik's death, calling his death a natural consequence of what politics has become. Schweik's press secretary, Spence Jackson, agreed with Danforth and is calling for the chairman of the state Republican Party, John Hancock, to resign.
This was a horrible, horrible anti-Semitic campaign taken on by John Hancock with Catherine Hanaway's willing consent. She needs to call on him to resign. He needs to resign himself. He needs to have some decency and resign and be accountable for his actions.
Danforth says Schweik's death should be a turning point in state politics. He says we should challenge our politicians to change the nasty nature of the democratic process.
Thank you, Dan. Schweik leaves behind his wife, Kathy, and his two children, Emily and Thomas. Schweik's press secretary tells us Schweik's death has obviously been extraordinarily difficult for his family, but says the family remains very strong.